Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law. Today we are going to be diving in a breaking story that is causing waves all across the United States. President Donald Trump has issued a new executive order aimed at freezing federal funding in an effort to combat what he calls wokeness. This decision has already had a significant impact on Medicaid portals, financial aid for students, research grants, and more. We're gonna break down what this executive order entails, who it affects, and the legal and societal consequences we're already seeing unfold. So let's begin at the beginning. What exactly did Trump do yesterday? On its surface, Donald J. Trump and his executive order freezes federal funds that he claims are being used to promote woke agendas. While the order itself is vague in defining what qualifies as woke, it broadly targets programs that include diversity training, social equity initiatives, and research deemed to have a political slant. Now, one of the immediate effects of this executive order has been the disruption of Medicaid portals in all 50 states. These portals are crucial for low-income individuals and families to access healthcare services, and the freeze also affects funding for higher education, including FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, as well as grants for academic research. In essence, this order casts a wide net, potentially impacting a significant number of Americans who rely on federal assistance. Let's talk about the impact on Medicaid and Medicare specifically. Medicaid portals are the primary way beneficiaries check their eligibility, enroll in programs, and access services. With this freeze, these systems have experienced temporary disruptions, leaving millions of people uncertain about their healthcare and their healthcare coverages. Now, although Medicare itself is funded differently and hasn't been directly targeted yet, the broader implications of this order suggest that any federally funded program could, in theory, be scrutinized under the guise of fighting this so-called wokeness. Now, for Medicaid recipients, this could mean delayed access to healthcare, canceled appointments, and potentially gaps in coverage. And even healthcare providers are also in a very tough spot because they have no certainty as to whether or not they're going to be reimbursed for services rendered during this period of uncertainty following this executive order by President Trump. What does this mean for students? Well, for students, the freeze creates a dire situation. FAFSA is a lifeline for millions of students who rely on federal aid to pay for college. For instance, my girlfriend, Chandler, is going to start law school and she's relying on FAFSA to take out loans for her education. While the order doesn't explicitly target FAFSA, the disruption in federal funding has led to fears that financial aid distributions could be delayed or even halted. Now, this could also have a ripple effect, naturally, particularly for low-income and first-generation students, such as Chandler. If students can't access their financial aid on time, they're going to face challenges like missing tuition deadlines, losing spots in their programs, or even dropping out of school altogether. And the same concerns extend to federal work-study programs and Pell Grants, both of which depend on smooth federal funding processes. So there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding it, but it has not directly targeted FAFSA specifically. Now, what about research and grants? Academic and scientific research are also in the crosshairs. Federal grants fund groundbreaking research in medicine, technology, and other critical fields. Freezing this funding doesn't just hold progress, it jeopardizes ongoing studies, disrupts research teams, and leaves thousands of researchers researchers in limbo, uncertain about what tomorrow may bring. For example, medical studies reliant on federal grants may lose the resources they need to develop life-saving treatments. And researchers, many of whom are graduate students, are early career scientists. They may face layoffs or funding cuts, putting their careers at risk and stalling potential future innovation. Now, you have to remember, at its core, President Trump's executive order does not exactly aim at halting these programs. It is designed to put an end to the left wokeness, if you will, that has been perpetrating our institutions. The notorious DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's nonsense. We do not need DEI in our institutions. We don't need it in schools. We don't need it in jobs. It is, in my humble opinion, nothing more than reverse racism. And you know what reverse racism is? Reverse racism is racism. When you are choosing one group over another just because of their color of their skin or their religion, and has nothing to do with their merit or their abilities as a student or a worker, that's racism. And it has no place in the workplace or in our schools. And I fully support the DEI removal initiative by President Trump. Now, the legal battle. The fallout from this executive order has already prompted a legal response. A federal judge has issued a temporary block on the funding freeze as of yesterday evening. But this is far from a resolution. The legal battle could take months or even years to settle, leaving affected programs and individuals in a prolonged state of uncertainty. Again, in my mind, a very small price to pay. Legal experts argue that the order may overstep executive authority, particularly if it disrupts essential services like healthcare and education. However, supporters of the order, such as myself, claim it is a necessary step to combat what we perceive as the politicization of federal programs. Now, another area of impact of this executive order has been on federal contractors and federal employees who may be working on projects tied to the affected funding. Many government contractors rely on consistent federal support, and any disruption can lead to work stoppages, furloughs, or even layoffs. Employees working on DEI programs within government agencies, as well as those in federally funded research institutions, could see their positions eliminated or their work severely restricted. The uncertainty surrounding this freeze has left many people questioning whether their roles are going to be secure. And for good reason. This executive order has also had an impact on nonprofit organizations and social programs. Many nonprofits that rely on federal grants to fund their initiatives are now also going to be facing operational challenges. These include programs aimed at assisting marginalized communities, providing healthcare support, and funding educational outreach. And without these federal grants, organizations that provide critical services, such as food assistance programs and mental health services, may have to reduce their capacity or maybe even shut down altogether. The effect could be devastating for the communities that depend on these programs. So, what happens next? First, we need to watch the courts. The temporary block is a promising sign for those opposing the freeze, but it is just the beginning of what is obviously going to be a lengthy legal process. Secondly, public pressure is also going to play a significant role. Advocacy groups, educators, healthcare providers are already mobilizing to challenge the order and ensure that critical funding is restored. But once again, hopefully, the DEI sectors are going to be chopped off and eradicated. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, like this video, comment below, share it with others who might be impacted. Leave your comments right underneath here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more updates such as this one and other important stories that are affecting your fellow citizens and everyone else in this country. And as always, let me know your thoughts, as I said, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this executive order will shape our future? Are you coming out in support of this order? Are you coming out against it? I want to know your thoughts. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Stay informed and stay strong. Bye, everybody.